channel may feature copyrighted video and audio content under the guidelines of fair use permitted by copyright statute for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. All content and credit go to the original creators. No copyright infringement is intended.
Coming in from President Trump, he did say earlier today that the U.S. carried out a strike in the southern Caribbean against a drug-carrying vessel that departed from Venezuela. The president later posting this video that you're seeing on Truth Social, along with a post saying earlier this morning, on my orders, U.S. military forces conducted a kinetic strike against positively identified Tren de Aragua narco-terrorists in the Southcom area of responsibility. TDA is a designated foreign terrorist organization operating under the control of Nicolas Maduro, responsible for mass murder, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and acts of violence and terror across the U.S. and Western Hemisphere. The strike occurred while the terrorists were at sea in international waters, transporting illegal narcotics heading to the U.S. The strike resulted in 11 terrorists killed in action. No U.S. forces were harmed in the strike. Please let this serve as notice to anybody even thinking about bringing drugs into the U.S. Beware. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Again, this.
Wow. So yesterday when we were live, shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody on the replay. So we were listening at an announcement that the president had yesterday, and he actually mentioned that in that piece that we were watching yesterday, but I don't even think we got all the way to it. But it's a lot of things developing today, and I was just trying to figure out where was we gonna start at. And so I thought this would be a good spot, because this is, I mean, I don't know if this has ever happened before, because everything is changing, and the U.S. spotted them on the waters and bombed them. I don't know how long they've been planning this or if it just happened spontaneously, but he did mention that we would be hearing about it later. And so we are here to hear about it. And also, J.B. Pritzker, he responded back to the president when he asked him to call him. It feels like I'm watching a reality show. So we here to, keep up with everything going on in the world today. Welcome in, everybody. Please smack that thumbs up and please subscribe if you have not. Drop down in the comments and let me know who's here and what you think about what you're about to hear.
This is the video right here. Now, we also heard a brief remark here from President Trump as he spoke earlier in the Oval Office.
When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago. And our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it. We didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing. And you'll see, and there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So we took it out, and you'll get to see that after this meeting is over.
That was President Trump as he spoke earlier today in the Oval Office, revealing the information about this strike. And then, as I mentioned, releasing that video right there on your screen. I do want to talk more about all of this here. So let's bring in Ken Gray, professor of practice in the Criminal Justice Department at the University of New Haven, also a former FBI special agent. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us.
Hi, Josh. Glad to be here.
All right, so the first question I have to ask you here is, from a national security standpoint, what do you make of all of this, the release of the video and the information provided by President Trump?
Yeah, so by designating Tren de Aragua a foreign terrorist organization, this sets them up for actions against them in addition to regular law enforcement. it puts this also into the realm of the national security threat and can be addressed by both law enforcement and by the military. So the other cartels that are running drugs into the United States should take note about this action, because they might be next. The next action may not be against Tren de Aragua operating out of Venezuela. It might be against one of the cartels operating out of Mexico. So while this is an interesting situation here of seeing the combination of law enforcement and military, we've actually seen this before in that law enforcement and military have both addressed terrorism around the world. And sometimes you use the military arm, sometimes you use the law enforcement arm. So this is an extension of that into this world of drugs, of narco-terrorism, with Tren de Aragua running drugs into the United States.
Are there any concerns at this point that this could lead to any kind of escalation there between the U.S. and Venezuela?
So the United States has a lot of military assets in that area. We have ships off the coast of Venezuela. We have Marines stationed on board some of those ships off the coast of Venezuela. We have air assets in the area. And so if Venezuela wants to try to go to war with the United States, that'll be a very short war. But nonetheless, they may see this.
So what do y'all think about that part? Do you think this will start a war? Should we be worried about that happening? Because Venezuela, they booting up, right? I think is that where people were signing up at? And they definitely talking stuff. I mean, really, they're saying that they are not worried about us, from what I've seen.
This action in international waters against Tren de Aragua as an attack on Venezuela. But if it does, it shows that Venezuela is supporting narco-terrorism.
As far as this whole situation, is it pretty common to see something like this happen? Again, a lot of people were circulating the video and information on social media as President Trump did reveal this during that Oval Office news conference. Is this something that we see fairly often? Is it out of the ordinary?
So we've seen actions against some of the Islamic terrorist groups that were raising funds through the sale of heroin, of growing poppy and converting it to heroin and selling that to the West. We've seen military actions against those terrorist groups that were being funded by drugs. But to do this kind of action in the Latin America here, in the Caribbean, this is kind of an unusual situation of the use of this much military force. Normally, this would be the Coast Guard interdicting here, pulling this boat over and arresting the members on board. We've seen even some of the cartels using submarines to bring drugs into the United States. But normally that's done by law enforcement, by the Coast Guard. This is an escalation of using the military in the Caribbean here by taking actions, kinetic action here against this fast boat running drugs towards the United States by Tren de Aragua. But that being said, again, this is a direct result of declaring Tren de Aragua a foreign terrorist organization, and by extension, also declaring cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
What about international law? Are there any concerns when it comes to international law and the situation that played out there earlier on today?
Yeah, please help us reach our goal of 300 thumbs up. And also thank you to everybody that subscribed to the channel on both sides. We got 100 over here and about 50 on the other channel. So thank y'all for helping us reach. Well, we haven't quite reached the goal. We have a goal to reach 20,000. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we're about 250 down, somewhere around there. If you could subscribe to the channel, I'd greatly appreciate that.
Hey.
Well, I mean, we could see the International Criminal Court try to bring acts against the United States for this action, but I doubt very seriously if that would happen. After all, this is a terrorist organization that has been designated back in February as a foreign terrorist organization. And additionally, I don't think the ICC wants to be defending Trinidad or Aragua bringing drugs into the United States. But nonetheless, there could be an argument made against the United States for doing this. And I just don't think the ICC has the juice to be able to do anything about this. I think that the United States is on solid ground. I think instead the likelihood is internal politics trying to make hay off of this, saying that the United States is overstepping its authority, using the military in what would be a law enforcement area, that the Coast Guard should have pulled this boat over.
Well, and it's interesting.
Okay, so the president said that the U.S. was carrying out a strike against a drug-carrying vessel in the Southern Caribbean, and it 11 people, and they're calling them narco-terrorists, was unalived. And he posted on Truth Social that Tuesday's U.S. military operation had targeted members of the Venezuelan gang Trinidad Aragua. Let me go to, I found a video just talking about them. Let's go to that.
As of right now, there are believed to be roughly 600 members of the Venezuelan gang Trinidad Aragua roaming around the United States. Trinidad Aragua is a violent prison gang from Venezuela known for robberies, cold-blooded murders, sex trafficking, and prostitution. Trinidad Aragua started in the Tocaron prison in Venezuela, where the gang took over, driving out the prison guards and creating their own empire. Now they've made their way to the United States, and within just a couple of years have taken hold in at least 17 states. So how did they get here?
So I just want to say, like, for them to take over prison guards and do all of that, they would have had to have help from the top. That kind of stuff don't usually happen unless you're getting assistance from the top. Like, how can unarmed prisoners take over a prison and do all of that? But, I mean, it has happened. I know that wardens have been unalived, but that's a lot. Let's keep going.
Well, Trinidad Aragua gang members posed as asylum seekers at our southern border. They came across with giant waves of migration during the Biden administration. At the time, federal authorities didn't know much about Trinidad Aragua and weren't ahead.
So they had 2 people at the border that was supposed to hold all these people from coming through? Is that what we just seen? Hold on, let's go back. That's a lot of dang on people, and the few that's supposed to stop all those people.
Aragua and weren't ahead of their paths. At the time, federal authorities didn't know waves of migration during the Biden administration.
Biden.
Trinidad Aragua gang members posed as asylum seekers at our southern border. They came across with giant waves of migration during the Biden administration. At the time, federal authorities didn't know much about Trinidad Aragua and weren't ahead of their paths to the United States. The members of the gang also didn't declare that they were a part of it, and they also didn't have the gang's signature tattoos when they crossed, which include a 5-point crown, a rose, and a clock signifying how much time they've spent in prison back in Venezuela. Those members also recruited within the United States with those migrant populations. They went into migrant shelters in New York City, for example, and they started to recruit more members who had arrived with those waves. So along with New York City, these migrants had settled in sanctuary cities, and they found their way there because they knew that it would be an easy place to start to unleash crime.
They definitely look like a bunch of petty thugs. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all agree with what they're saying about them? Remember when Biden ripped down walls? We wanted to build and sold the metal for pennies on the dollar. I do not. All I know is what is happening, what we paying attention to right now.
And they knew that if they had been arrested, they would also be released likely. Also in the Big Apple, they've established gun smuggling rings in those migrant shelters. They've created snatch and grab moped gangs, and they've also engaged in sex trafficking along Roosevelt Avenue. Tren de Aragua, which is also known as TDA, has also set up shop in places like El Paso, Texas, where they've created smuggling rings across the border, Aurora, Colorado, where they've taken over apartment complexes and unleashed violent crime.
Now I remember when they did all of this, and it was an outrage to see everything that was happening. I'm like, is this what they want to happen? The police wasn't doing nothing from the top, wasn't ordering nothing, and the people was just being beat down, rent taken, landlords. It was like a New Jack City, right? This is what I remember with this. But okay, they got all this documented.
And even now in North Dakota. You may have also heard of some of the members of the Venezuelan gang and some of their crimes in the United States. One of the most well-known is the killing of Laken Riley, her killer, Jose Ibarra.
Now, we've heard a lot about Laken Riley. So, okay. Yeah, this is a lot. All of this just happened. This is all from 2024, and they speak on her a lot, or have.
Tren de Aragua member, as first identified by the Post. It is also believed that the two alleged killers of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray.
A crown? That's what they using? Like, a lot of people got a crown. What is this? A crown with a couple stars? You know how many people got something like that?
It is also believed that the two alleged killers of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray in Houston, Texas earlier this year are also gang members with Tren de Aragua. What makes them different from other gangs is that they operate more like a cartel. That's according to sources that we've talked to. Those sources say that a concerning element of all this is that even as they come into the country now and move about committing crime.
So I'm trying to figure out what make these gangs different from any thug gang in America. No gang have been able to take over anything in the U.S. and they've been here for how long? This is crazy. It's all just insanity. The evil must be stopped. Well, everyone almost voted for the black. What? Get up out of here, salad slap. You need to be slapped with that. What you just typed. Let me hit play. See, I got to be careful reading y'all messages. The government official filled the pockets with blood money and look away. Man, okay. What is going on here? How was they able to come over here unannounced and do all of this? Like I said, man, people can't have this kind of power unless it's given to them. And in my opinion, and everybody else's that was watching the takeover of the Colorado apartment buildings and the beatdown of the residents and the lack of response from the law enforcement who's supposed to fight this, now we got this. Like, wow.
All over the U.S.
Interesting.
There's still a challenge for law enforcement. They're bouncing from town to town and they're unleashing crime in areas they know that they'll get released, but also areas that they know where the local authorities won't be able to communicate with ICE to tell them that they're back out on the streets.
And so now I'm trying to figure out, is these the ones that's in Chicago that took over, that Brandon Johnson and all of them was protecting and giving them sanctuaries because all of this stuff was happening all at the same time.
And even if ICE is able to get their hands on them, those gang members also know that Venezuela has refused to take them back at this point. Venezuela also doesn't readily share information on their citizens, so being able to confirm these members of the gang has been very difficult for law enforcement here. That could all change very soon with the incoming Trump administration, which is vowed to find a way to start deporting Venezuelan nationals and Tren de Aragua gang members.
Yeah, I want to see more about what people think about that. Very interesting. I wasn't aware that those was the same people that we talking about. And so, yeah, so then this is what happened. It looked like, they carrying stuff over like that. Who gave them a boat anyway to do all of this? Who are they working for? So they just bring it over like that out in the open. You can just look down and see everything they got going on. Wow. That's amazing. Did y'all know all of this was going down? And I mean, just thinking about what we watched yesterday, everybody was calm, smiling, proud, and we didn't even know all of this was going on yet. But he definitely mentioned it. So let me see what y'all think about this. Unchecked and bold. Trump, oh man, they took over apartment buildings in Colorado. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, I'm still going to be careful reading your messages though. So the fact that the U.S. government completely destroyed, destabilized Venezuela is just going to get skipped over typical Americans. Usually, yes, speedboats run, usually keep the product on deck. How was they able to ever get away with this? How were they able to ever bring drugs over like this so boldly? Okay, and then the other thing that I've been seeing in the news is Jeffrey Epstein's victims have come forward. A lot of people, it's a lot of civil unrest. Protests are going on everywhere. Jeffrey Epstein survivors are actually speaking at the Capitol. So let's go to that. Like a couple people spoke out, and then we're gonna go to Chicago too. Like I said, there's just so much happening. Let me cover this up right quick. And if y'all could please smack the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not, while I find another video. We are going to let's go to Rubio first. Let's finish with this one. And then, of course, we're going to go to...
the president made the announcement and said it was a lethal strike. Suffice it to say that the president is going to be on offense against drug cartels and drug trafficking in the United States. It destabilizes not just the country, but the entire Caribbean basin. These particular drugs were probably headed to Trinidad or some other country in the Caribbean, at which point they just contribute to the instability these countries are facing. So the president's been very clear that he's going to use the full power of America and the full might of the United States to take on and eradicate these drug cartels, no matter where they're operating from and no matter how long they've been able to act with impunity. Those days are over. This is a counter-drug operation. We're going to take on drug cartels wherever they are and wherever they're operating against the interests of the United States. The president's top obligation is to secure the national interest and the national security of our people. I know of no president that means that more than this one, our president now, President Trump. And so, but I'm not going to speculate about what might come down the road.
So the Associated Press, Marco Rubio, that is what he said. What do y'all think about that? This is the first for me seeing this kind of stuff happen so boldly. Hey, I'm speechless, but hey, no more playing nice. Friendly reminder, drugs won the war on drugs. Wow. America first, liar. Chris said, invading the drug zone, a bunch of war theatrics. I don't know about you, Salad Slap. You trying to act like you got sense now. Shout out to Gab. Welcome in, fam. How you doing? What do you think about this, Gab? Where are the files? Christopher says, okay. So we gonna get into that because everybody want to know where are the files. Like nobody is, that is still at the top priority for everybody that ever was concerned. So we'll go to that. We got a lot to talk about with the files. Let's go here.
House will be in order.
On Congress's first day back in session, a high-stakes meeting on Capitol Hill. A dozen lawmakers from the House Oversight Committee meeting with Jeffrey Epstein's victims behind closed doors. The committee is investigating the Department of Justice's handling of the Epstein case and has called for the DOJ to release all records related to Epstein. House Speaker Mike Johnson joining today's bipartisan meeting. He has been criticized by some for running interference on the Epstein case by delaying a House vote on releasing related files this past July.
Has he been running interference? Let me know.
There were tears in the room. There was outrage. It was both, I would describe it as heartbreaking and infuriating.
Committee Chairman James Comer of Republican issuing subpoenas to several former government officials, including former President Bill Clinton, James Comey, and William Barr. The committee withdrawing a subpoena issued for Robert Mueller citing health issues. The former FBI director's family telling the New York Times he has Parkinson's disease. Republican Congressman Thomas Massey today formally filing a petition to try and force a vote to compel the DOJ to release all.
Wait, who got, it's so much happening. Who got Parkinson's?
Drawing a subpoena issued for Robert Mueller citing health issues.
Robert Mueller.
The former FBI director's family telling the New York Times he has Parkinson's disease. Republican Congressman Thomas Massey today formally filing a petition to try and force a vote to compel the DOJ to release all the Epstein files.
I don't think that the president himself is implicated in these files, but I think he has rich, powerful, politically connected friends who may be implicated in these documents.
This saga has loomed large over President Trump's second term. Trump last month asked if he's in favor of releasing all the files.
I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be people, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax.
All of today's events are ahead of a major news conference tomorrow. We will hear from Epstein's victims at the Capitol. Perry Russum, ABC News.
Okay, and so we definitely got a chance to hear some things from the victims. So we're going to go to that. Going to be honest, I think they're going to try to snake out of it as much as possible. Do y'all think that we will hear the truth? Or will it be after they edit it? Now, the president was live yesterday, right? And he already talked about AI. Because they asked him something about something being thrown out of a window. And I didn't know what they was talking about. And his response was like, oh, that was AI. So let's go to that. Because I don't know. Trash video. Let's see.
I know there's a video that is circulating online now of the White House where a window is open to the residence upstairs and somebody is throwing a big bag out the window. Have you seen this?
No, that's probably AI generated.
So
Actually, you can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
So that's a fake video.
Well, it's got to be, because I know every window up there. The last place I'd be doing it is that, because there's cameras all over the place, right? Including yours. No, but every window, I've never seen a window that's, in fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. They're bulletproof. And number one, they're sealed. And number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up. No, that has to be, where was the window? Let me see.
Maybe from the renovations.
Which is the window?
It looks like this is on the 15th Street side, I think.
Yeah.
So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows they're all sealed. You can't open them.
What you're saying regarding the federal.
It's the kind of thing they do. And one of the problems we have with AI, it's both good and bad. If something happens really bad, just blame AI.
Blame it on
But
AI.
also they create things, it works both ways. If something happens that's really bad, maybe I'll have to just blame AI. But there's truth to it.
Well,
because
hell, he said blame it on AI. So was it AI, or do y'all know what's going on? Let him keep going, because I don't even know what video. Shout out to Young Riaz. Welcome in, fam. Y'all, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 20,000 and 300 thumbs
I see
up.
so many phony things. I saw something as I was growing up, from the time I was a baby till now. I said, who did that? It was AI generated. So it's a little bit scary, to be honest with you. But those windows are all very heavily sealed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I follow up with what you were saying regarding that federal appellate court that ruled against you.
Peter Doocy showing Trump video of someone dropping trash out of the window at the White House. President Trump saying it might be AI, but a White House official saying that this actually happened, a potential contractor. What's going on at the White House in terms of this?
Wait
How
a damn
unusual-
minute now. Hold on now. See, they already using AI as a crutch, and they said it actually happened. So why would anybody be doing that? I'm confused. Did he just say a contractor? President Trump shuts down a viral mystery video claiming objects were being thrown. And they bulletproof, 600 pounds. Can't nobody open a window. Like, I seen somebody saying that, oh, all of a sudden he does construction and he know all about these windows. What is really going on?
What's going on at the White House in terms of this? How unusual is this happening there? The AI, but a White House official saying that this actually happened, a potential contract, showing Trump video of someone dropping trash out of the window at the White House. President Trump saying it might be AI, but a White House official saying that this actually happened, a potential contractor. What's going on at the White House in terms of this? How unusual is this happening there? Those windows, he said, potentially are sealed.
They are sealed, and I'm not going to lie. This one's a head scratcher, Andy, because we've known about these massive renovations at the White House, both to the Rose Garden and what the president is trying to do to build his new ballroom off of the East Wing. So again, it's not surprising that they are getting rid of things, and whether or not that one specific contractor should have been shoveling items out of the window, I'm going to leave that.
This is what, wait a minute. More than one thing. So how did he know if that would hit somebody in the head? Who ordered him to do that? Was he supposed to? What is really going on at the White House, y'all? Please help me understand this. Somebody made an AI of Trump as a baby. It was hysterical. Oh, that's what he was talking about. Okay. I have seen a lot of them. I gotta find that one. Who the hell did this? Who is the contractor? Throw shit. We care. We want to know, why are they throwing stuff out the White House windows like this? This is some old crazy mess.
To the White House staff to decide. But I do think this goes to show just how busy any president is. I mean, Donald Trump.
And also just how busy the paparazzis is. They don't miss a damn thing. Like, they watching.
Trump might be the most online president we've ever had. I mean, certainly the internet has not been around as long as America, but he's always on Truth Social. He's always on X, Twitter. And
so is AI about to be the excuse for every dang on thing? Because clearly this is not AI. You can, right now, the way that the AI stuff is working, you can tell that it is AI. I mean, except for the deep fake stuff that, yeah, they can make deep fake stuff, but nah, the stuff we've been seeing, you can tell is real cartoonish, is real funny, actually.
I'd be surprised that he hadn't necessarily seen this one. I do think, just given the craziness of this summer, all of the swirling headlines, life at the White House has been very different. I mean, just last Friday, President Trump, according to White House officials, was blasting music from the balcony of the White House, from the Rose Garden. I heard, the Beatles and Journey during a couple of my exits in and out of the briefing room. Maybe that was trying to get ahead of the rumors. And here we are having this press conference again today, which very easily could have been an email to try and tamp down on those conspiracies.
Yeah, and as the Journey song goes, don't stop believing potentially anything is possible when you're talking about this White House. And of course, this also saying a spokesperson for the White House confirmed that the clip was authentic and explained it showed it was a contractor doing regular maintenance.
Okay, what the heck just happened? A contractor doing regular maintenance, so that's how they do it. That's how they do it. Meanwhile, people is like, meanwhile, everybody is like, we don't give a damn. We still want to know what is going on with those Epstein files, no matter what happens. But no matter what is going on, no matter how they trying to distract everything, everybody still want to know what's up with them files. What's up with them, buddies? But anyway, this is what the spokesperson said. A spokesperson for the White House confirmed via email that the clip was authentic and explained what it showed. It was a contractor who was doing regular maintenance while the president was gone. So he missed that. So they do all kind of unruly stuff when the president is gone, or I don't know. It just makes no sense. All right. So all right, we're gonna get into the Epstein files because that is really everything what everybody want to know. And so these people, let's go to it. Let's go to, because they had, okay, like I said, the victim spoke out. Right now they're doing a protest speaking out, and they also did an interview, and is 9 victims, and they have band together for a big can of whoop ass. You know, they want justice, and let's go and see what they talking about. Hold on, let's see where we gonna start at. We are going to start here. The full remarks, the House oversight.
10 years.
Now let's go to Jasmine first. Let's go to her first. Straight to it. She the mouthpiece.
Thank you so much. And first of all, let me just say that we are standing before you. We're having this conversation because of the oversight Democratic leadership. And so I want to reiterate that it's the Democratic leadership on oversight that has truly been able to move this forward. I'm sure many of you don't recall, but we were sent home early to try to avoid being able to take a vote on something like getting these files. We are about doing real transparency. We don't care who's in the files. We are going after you. So silly, if I had to sum up what happened today, we heard the stories of victims, and honestly, we heard the story of at least one person that has never come forward before today. This was the very first time that she was telling anyone in a semi-public way her story. And if I had to summarize the theme, I would say that their theme was to do something. It is probably the theme of the American people in general right now when it comes to government, is that they want us to do something. So yes, we had the roundtable, but they actually want to see some action. The fact that this started off
you
in the
are
90s,
what you type,
and we had someone who could talk about what happened to them
and you
in the 90s, but then you go down the line and you've got somebody that's telling us their story from 2008. These failures led to years and years of abuse that did not have to take place. And so the reality is this: some think that this is all over, and some think that nothing else is going on. But if there was ever a RICO case, it would have been the Epstein case. So how we went from something that should have been RICO because of how sophisticated of a system.
Okay, do y'all agree that this should have been a RICO case? They RICO Diddy. Why didn't they RICO this case? Let me know. Is this a RICO case?
This wasn't just one little sick old man that was doing stuff, but there were so many layers, whether we're talking about the banks that were involved, whether we're talking about those that worked for him, that helped him, whether we're talking about the monster known as Maxwell. And that's exactly how y'all need to refer to her. She is a monster. She is not a victim. So let me tell you, I want some action items to come out of this, because for once we somewhat look like we're bipartisan in the oversight committee. Number one, we need answers. We need answers on why it is that Maxwell was transferred from her current station or her former station in Florida down to Texas.
Now, I didn't know where they put her at, but I did peep that they moved her right after her interview. Remember, we were listening in on her interview. Right after that, they moved her.
We need to have an understanding.
And she changed her story.
Because everything that I heard today leads me to know that for sure she was all up and in and through this entire process, not to mention that she was indicted by a jury of her peers, and then she was tried and convicted and given 20 years. So why is it that we had somebody, again, it almost seems like we are doomed to repeat our failures? Because why is it we have high-level people that seemingly are running cover for a criminal? And that is what she is. She is a monster, and she is.
Y'all, can y'all please smack the thumbs up? We are trying to reach a goal of 300 thumbs up. It's 242 people in here. Can y'all please smack the thumbs up? It's totally free. It don't cost you a dime. I definitely appreciate y'all listening in, but please smack the thumbs up and also help us reach our goal of 20,000 subscribers. Shout out to the 150 people that subscribed yesterday.
A criminal. So number one, we need answers on what happened with that transfer, why it took place, and honestly, we all need to stand together and say that Maxwell needs to go back to where the monsters go, which is to a higher level of security. We also need to understand that Debbie Wasserman Schultz has legislation that she has been trying to push forward. And so in a bipartisan way, we all need to get behind Debbie, because we found, and what we learned is that there were loopholes as it relates to the Crime Victims Act. And so we've got to make sure that
Shout out to everybody on the politics channel. It's 102 people over there. If y'all could please smack the thumbs up. I see we got 10 thumbs up. Please smack the thumbs up. And behave in the chat, please. No trolling. No trolling. You will be blocked. Be civil. I don't care if you can have your opinion, just be respectful.
Other victims
shouldn't be hard if you're an adult.
Suffer in the way that they did when you have somebody like Alex Acosta.
If you're a child, exit right now.
That decides that he wants to play games and dismiss a case and never inform the victims of what's going on as is required by law. So we are going to have to fix those loopholes to make sure that that doesn't happen, because it took them 10 years of fighting.
Byron said Ghislaine is probably out shopping and can come and go as she please in the posh prison. The first thing that I thought about when they moved her, I thought about Martha Stewart. Do y'all remember when Martha Stewart was arrested or in prison or whatnot, and she was like on a resort or some type of nice little prison?
This, and ultimately by the time they got to the end of it, well, it also was Jeffrey Epstein's in, and so there was not a resolution for that. And the final thing that I think that we need to do is, obviously, we need to continue to push forward and make sure that we get all the files, because we know that we have not received them all. Because
it took a minute, but I found you. Now welcome to the block party, B.
As I am standing in front of the press, I'm also going to make a plea. One of the things that I realized was that there's a lot of stuff that the DOJ may have, but honestly, if you don't have a thorough investigation, and I can't say if we had a thorough investigation or not, we have no idea. But the reality is that when you have investigators that go out and they collect information. I am not necessarily convinced that they even have gone out and done their due diligence to fully investigate this case in the first place. So if there's anyone in the public that believes that you have information that would be valuable, you've never been able to get through to federal agencies, or no one would listen to you when you try to go forward and bring information forward, I am asking that you trust oversight DIMS and you bring that information to us. Or if you know where some information is contained, let us know so that we can then send subpoenas out that way. We want to do right, not only by those that have already suffered under Epstein, but we want to prevent other trafficking rings that we know are out there. We want to make sure that we are doing right for future generations.
Okay, so they took her seat, but she's still talking. She still got the mic. Okay, so what do y'all think about what she just said? So JB Pritzker warns. Okay, we already seen that. All right, now let's see what the guy got to say. Let's go here. Then we're going to see what the people got to say. We already know what the president got to say.
Of course, are on this committee, but most importantly, for the last couple of hours, we've been hearing directly from the victims who have suffered incredible, horrific abuse by Jeffrey Epstein, by Ghislaine Maxwell, and many others who have been involved.
So this is right after a hearing that they had behind the scenes with the victims. They got to talk to them face to face. I wish we could see that, but they did have an interview after that.
In these horrific crimes. I will say, and I know I speak on behalf of all of us, that the courage that these women showed today has motivated us so much more to seek justice, accountability, and transparency. And we do not care how powerful, how connected, or what political party those that have victimized and caused horrific pain and sexual abuse to these women are. We will seek justice. I want to just start. We have a few folks who are going to say some remarks. I want to start with Ayanna Pressley. Our Congresswoman, of course, has been a great leader on this. We'll share from a few folks, and I will wrap it up and answer any questions at that time. I want to add before we start that much of the conversation that we had is also confidential, and it's our job to protect the privacy of the women and what they've said. And there are numerous conversations that will be happening in the days ahead. So, Congresswoman.
Thank you, Ranking Member Garcia. What we heard here today was harrowing, and it is proof of what has been an institutional, systemic betrayal for decades. These women now who were preyed upon, groomed, exploited, violated from as young as 13 years old, their bodies violated, their minds manipulated, and their dreams denied. Aspiring artists, lawyers, actors, people who had big dreams. And those dreams have been dashed and denied because of the shame they carry, because of the trauma they carry. It is a lifetime sentence. Jeffrey Epstein is dead, but his hurt and his harm is alive and well in the daily experiences of these survivors. Maxwell is incarcerated, but it is these survivors, these victims, who are still very much in jail. And they are deserving of transparency, of accountability, and of healing. We are where we are today because of the leadership of Ranking Member Garcia and our Ranking Member on the subcommittee for law enforcement, Summer Lee, enforcing that vote for a subpoena. Because in order for us to hold powerful abusers to account, who participated actively in a predator, pedophile, Ponzi scheme meant to feed on the daily perversions of a rich and powerful man and his enablers and those who were his co-conspirators, we want to center the victims and the survivors, not shield the powerful, the wealthy, and the well-connected.
Triggers. Not shield the wealthy, the powerful, the well-connected. So do y'all have a problem with that? Maxwell should be moved back in maximum security. That is exactly what they are saying. Put a 1 in a chat if you believe Maxwell should be in the maximum prison right now, like Jamie does and like the Democrats do. Let me know what y'all think.
So we forced a vote for a subpoena in a hearing that was...
Oh, and please smack the thumbs up, y'all. Happy Max says
child trafficking, to point out the hypocrisy. Then I led calls for a hearing in the Committee on Oversight, centering the victims.
Got ones.
And my colleagues joined with me in that. We do believe that that did lead to pressure that resulted in today's roundtable, where many of the victims said it was the first time that they had felt heard. On the heels of the many years of abuse that they experienced, to be re-victimized and traumatized by a government. They had abusers that told them they were trash. And because they've never gotten justice and been heard, it has contributed to the ways in which they have felt demoralized and invisible. The role of this committee is to be an efficient and effective pursuit of the truth, and we will be until these survivors get the justice that they deserve. Again, we will not shield powerful abusers. They must be taken into account, and that cannot happen if we are not centering and prioritizing the voices of survivors. And now I'll turn it over to My colleague and dear friend, Congresswoman Simon from California, who has worked for many years with survivors of trafficking.
Okay, so let's see, because clearly the president ain't, concerned about this stuff here. And let's see. It's so much happening that you can't even concentrate on what's happening, but this is something that he said. Let's change the subject. Let's talk about this right quick. Because that's pretty much how it's happening. Everything is happening in lightning speed. And this is what the president said. We just kind of, this is kind of what's happening. Like, okay, look over here. Don't worry about those files. Like, we rolling over here. So earlier this morning on my orders, this is going back to what we was talking about. Because that's kind of how it's moving in my head and in real time too. But on my orders, the U.S. military forces conducted the kinetic strike against positively identifying Trende Aragra narco-terrorists in the Southcom area of responsibility. So I just wanted to put that up because he ain't paying no attention to none of this. He said this man is not his friend. He didn't put him out of places and all that. But we know that Epstein's brother have come forth and other people, even Trump's niece is talking, totally against him. And they were friends. They were friends. And this guy, everybody believed that he was ordered unalived. What y'all think? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all believe that he was unalived by someone. Put a 1 in the chat. This is so bold, like right in our face.
Good afternoon, everyone. Latifah Simon from California's 12th District. Today, we had the honor of listening to extremely brave women who talked about the ongoing rape and sexual exploitation that they endured by the rich and the powerful. And for 3 decades, their voices have been ignored. These are young women who have been on record telling their stories. And yet justice has been denied. Justice has been denied to the young woman who talked about being groomed to go over Jeffrey Epstein's home where she was raped.
Triggers.
Raped.
Triggers.
Children leaving high school to be raped.
Damn.
And left to go home alone.
So she gonna keep saying that. We not gonna keep saying that over here. Okay, let's go to the victims. Let's listen at what they got to say for themselves.
Tonight, as you can see, just really within the last couple of hours, I sat down exclusively with the biggest group of survivors and their family members brought together at the same time. Some of these people had never met each other before, including a woman who has never before come forward to share her story about the abuse she says she faced at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. I want to play for you now my conversation with these individuals you're hearing for the very first time right here on NBC News Now. A show of hands here, if you or somebody you love was abused or trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell.
Even
all
boys.
Of you. So given that, you are here together, the 9 of you in this room, in this, what feels like a show of solidarity. Why? Why did you decide to come here today? Jess?
I'm coming here because there's been a severe miscarriage of justice, a delay in accountability, and we've all come together beautifully and tragically, which feels healing and devastating all at the same time, to speak out and to be fueled by each other's voices in a way that I don't know that we've had the opportunity to in the past.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully said. Yeah. I'm here for the same reasons, but for me, the most important thing is accountability. My whole mission is to get somebody, or the majority of the people, to be held accountable for what they did and what we've all been suffering through for the last, 15, 20 years.
Marika, you're somebody who has spoken publicly about your experience before. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you to be sitting alongside 8 other people in telling your story and in being here?
Today, I didn't think I would be here 6 years later from when I was here in 2019. I guess I'd just like to say that, it's always a bit nerve-wracking to speak on camera like this, but I mean, I just want to say that the government has failed us. I mean, Maria Farmer reported this in 1996, and now there's a pending lawsuit where hopefully there will be some accountability.
Yeah. Lisa, how about you?
I'm here once again speaking our truth and kind of beside myself that we're even having to do this again because they never did what they should have done in the beginning. So now here we are having to do interviews like this to get our voices out there because they didn't just listen to us the first time we said it.
That must feel frustrating.
Extremely.
Yeah. The idea of repeating, having to do this again and again. Did you ever think you'd have to?
No. I mean, in 2019, when I spoke up and went public on what had happened to me in 2003, at 14 years old, was something that I should have never had to have done in my life. It should have been taken care of and handled from the beginning and been investigated properly so we wouldn't have had to be at this point, I should have never had to put my face on camera so that someone would listen to me.
I want to first get to Sky and Amanda and Danny, who are here representing your sister, Virginia Giuffre. Danny, what message does it send to be here with this group in this, what, as Liz described, this almost show of strength?
She should be here. I am so honored to be here with you guys. She would be here. She'd be screaming, And I think
I just wanted to say correction. He's clearly there for his sister and not for himself. I thought he was.
they said it best. It's like, if I could really say what we're looking for out of this is justice, looking for accountability. And I think it's, we really have to start questioning, what do we stand for? So, it means the world to be here with you, all of you. And, I think this is only the beginning of what's really to come, because showing a force like this, they have to listen now.
Some of you had not met before today. Am I right in understanding that? This is your first time for some of you meeting each other.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. And Wendy, take a beat. No, because this is your first time.
So do y'all think this will make a difference? Y'all hearing her saying that this is their first time meeting and some of them first time speaking and all of that. And then I'm steadily finding, pictures, more pictures. It's no secret that they hung out, had conversations about a lot of things. Epstein's brother has been very open, and also Trump's niece. Now, I don't know what she would know about this, but she's very open about him. The niece is the daughter, Mary Trump is her name. The daughter of his brother, his older brother. And I do remember hearing Mary Trump say that by the time her father and Trump wasn't close because they were so many years apart, and her father was already out of the house by the time Trump would have been 10 or 11. But she go hard against her uncle.
You have never before spoken publicly about your experience.
Correct.
I'm going to ask you to share some of your experience now. What were your interactions with Jeffrey Epstein? What can you tell us?
My interactions, if you guys have followed or...
Can y'all please smack the thumbs up at the sound of my voice? If you can hear me, please smack the thumbs up. We need to get the thumbs up. It's 140 people on the other side and 245 combined. Can y'all please, everybody, smack the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.
Or know Jenna's story. Jenna is one of my best friends from middle school, I would say. And it's pretty much the same story in that aspect.
How old were you?
I was 14.
And how did you first encounter either Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell?
Through friends. It was very normal, I guess. Through friends.
And where were you? This was in Florida?
Yes.
And did you go to the home in Palm Beach? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, I went to the home in Palm Beach.
Okay. And what were you involved in there? What did he ask you to do?
I'm not really comfortable answering that.
Okay.
It's the same as if you follow the story, you know what I was asked to do.
How did you extract yourself from this abuse?
I moved very quickly. My family moved me out of Florida, so I exited that world and had no access to it.
Are y'all already familiar with these victims? Like, this is my first time seeing them, and it's a lot that I don't know. So I was curious to know, like, how are they meeting them? And at the age of 14 and all of this, I'm thinking is parents involved and stuff like that. Things that we hearing with R. Kelly, things that we hearing about Diddy. You know what I'm saying? They made it to court, you know. And they made it alive so far, but this right here is different. It's different because of the people that's involved. So one of the things that Representative Luna says after talking with Epstein survivors yesterday is clear. This thing is a lot bigger than we could have anticipated. Rich and powerful people need to go to prison. They said it's 33,295 pages of the Epstein file. Release the Epstein files. That's all they want to know. That's all people want to hear. The truth about what really happened. And a lot of people also are mad at Trump that supported him for not standing on business like he said he would.
Thankfully.
And how did you cope with that trauma?
You just put it behind you and don't think about it.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, until it was brought up that, hey, this is a big deal in 2019, I think.
What?
This is a real big deal and it's your truth. So here's what's happening. And that's all.
It sounds like you almost buried Jeffrey Epstein's memory, his name.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden, all these years later, here it comes back into the public spotlight again. What was that like for you?
It's so I had never really thought about it, I guess, because I just put it behind. You didn't talk about it, didn't think about it, nothing. And it was kind of like, okay, now you have to heal from this. Now you have to address it and face it. For the first time ever. Like, this is real.
Oh, the first time ever.
It's almost like you're in denial, maybe?
No, I just, at that point, like I'm 30, I had moved on. I had a career, I'm a family. And now it's like, okay, well, it's the truth and it's my truth. So it's time to start processing through that.
At the time, did you tell any of your family members what had happened to you with Epstein?
At that time, no.
After, did you?
No.
When did you finally tell, if you have, I assume to this point, told family members?
Yes.
Okay.
I told pretty much after everything was in motion.
Okay. Meaning the cases and the investigation?
But I had decided that I was going to pursue it. So I had to come clean to people and be like, hey, I did this and I don't know what's going to happen, but it is true.
Did you reach out to law enforcement at that point?
No. I was contacted through the puzzle pieces that they put together to connect victims to victims to victims. I was on the bulletin board somewhere.
And here you are all these years later, sitting in this room with these other women, with these other family members. Why now? Why are you deciding to speak and to share your story now?
Because not everybody is getting justice. And that's not right.
just because you think that some victims in their mind got justice, that it's not right. The everyday person is out there, and that's me, and we're victims. You could be, your neighbor could be a victim and you don't know it. The person you pass in a grocery store and they're not talking. And I think that, like she said, power in numbers, even if I'm just counted as statistically in numbers as another victim, that's enough for me. They're not protecting our youth. They're continuing to allow the same thing that happened to us is happening still. Maybe not with them, but it happens, and it's happening. So
it sounds like it's a lot of shame of what happened too, and people not really want to speak out at first, and that is really messed up. And one thing that I'm finding out is the person that actually went and questioned Ghislaine, did the interview with her, was one of Trump's long-time attorney or something, and a friend. If he was his attorney for years, they were really good, right? Did y'all hear that? And if so, do y'all know the guy's name? Do anybody know the guy of his attorney that interviewed the lady? Shout out to BFF. Welcome in, fam. And also, did y'all know that Trump's commence secretary was Epstein's neighbor for 20 years? Let me know if y'all have ever heard that. I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to put it in here so y'all can see what I'm looking at. It's a lot going on, y'all.
I took my time in saying something, and I've always been in contact with Jenna. I had a young daughter trying to start my career. It was a big shock to my husband. So I took the time, and I said when I felt like I was ready, it's not a secret. It's just something that I didn't normally talk about.
Yeah.
So now I'm ready to say, you know what? If I am the everyday Joe Schmo and I have this story, I know I want to be able to inspire other people to say, hey, me too. I hate this. I don't want to say the me too, not trying to do that, but
Me Too movement.
It happened to me too.
So how many more people could it be that just haven't said anything or that got paid off before they ever reached this point?
And I want to support her. She's been doing all this for years alone, and she doesn't deserve to do it alone.
And I know that that's emotional for you. I can see it in you.
And it's also emotional. I haven't met them today, but going through stuff like this, especially as an adult, it brings up a lot of mental health issues. And I've thought of hurting myself. And not now, but over the last 6 or so years, just going through all this, and it's hard. And I know that if I have those thoughts, and Virginia has those thoughts, and we're victims,
I just feel like these people are very brave to speak out at this time, because a lot of people is scared to say anything. A lot of people are being silenced, and they are coming forward. So I would say that that's a good thing. I just ran across this. And like I said, they are speaking in front of the Capitol, or they were. And let me see. So this is breaking. Epstein survivors, they will hold a press conference at the Capitol Hill on September 3rd at 10:30 Eastern Standard. For the first time, many will speak publicly about what happened and demand the release of the Epstein files. I've been on this relentlessly and hope and won't stop. I will be covering. Follow me for the updates. So this right here, we are not a hoax. Okay, and then this right here is what I was talking about. They are saying that this guy was a neighbor of Epstein for 20 years, and that's his commerce secretary. What is his name? I've seen him, but I don't remember his name. Let me know, y'all, and please smack the thumbs up. And there is your president. Okay, so let's go.
How many more of us do we have to lose?
Why do you want to see more of these documents released publicly?
Accountability, right? I think all this time.
Wait a minute. Speaking of that, does anybody know how many people have been unalive through this whole thing? Or, you know, done it to themselves or whatever? Because I'm sure it wasn't just one. I mean, I haven't researched this yet. I don't know. How many people have unalived themselves allegedly? So we gotta count Epstein himself, the guy here who's here for his sister, Guthrie or something like that. Probably, I remember reading that name last time.
We've forgotten how large of a scale this really is. What Virginia did, what these women did, it's unprecedented. This was
Somebody said Trump loves Huggies. You out of line.
a global operation. It takes multiple people to make this happen over a span of decades. Those people deserve to be accountable too. Okay? And they have that information. They have that information. They have the power to do the right thing. And that is what we're here for.
Are you all satisfied, and then I'll do a couple more show of hands, but are you all satisfied generally with the level of communication that you've had or that your representatives have had from members of Congress? Do you feel like your voices have been heard from members of Congress?
No.
Jess, you're giving me a face. You're saying no way.
My eyebrows don't lie. No,
Wow.
I've heard zero communication. I mean, I don't know about it. I've heard nothing from any representatives personally. I have not.
So can I get a show of hands? Who here is satisfied with the level of contact they've had from Congress?
Wow.
Nobody. Let me do.
You do not see this often. You do not.
Let me ask this. How about the Justice Department? I want to ask a couple of things about what you knew about things that were happening with this case that you're obviously.
How many times I gotta say it is certain elements of BS involved when it's a cover up, and they got every last one of them. It's not common for Caucasian people to go through this. Look how many. It is 9 people right there. Ain't none of them being heard. When I was listening at his brother talk, it reminded me of Carmen Day talking about Jelani Day. And we know that was a cover up. We know that law enforcement was involved. So allegedly, okay? So I'm going to just say this is how you know that it's big people, you know, that's covering this. And also with the Trende Aragra stuff, for them to be able to take over and do everything that they did, coming over here with drugs, they was allowed to do it, just like they just did with the Trump administration. What they just did with that boat, that could have been happening all this time. Like, I mean, what is the military here for if they're not keeping everything safe, unless that's what is ordered? It's just the times has changed and the old stuff ain't working no more, and they want to change the world from that. That's what I'm saying. Like, ain't no way any of this stuff was ever happening without approval. That's just my opinion. Let's go.
Involved with. Show of hands. Did any of you hear from the Justice Department before they released that memo, that 2-page memo earlier this summer? No hands. Were any of you told that Todd Blanche would be speaking with Ghislaine Maxwell prior to that interview over the course of 2 days?
No.
No. Were any of you told about the prison transfer?
They didn't know about that. How many of y'all want to go over the rest of that? Because we listened to a little bit, but to me the audio was bad. Put a 1 in the chat if you interested in hearing that. Ghislaine Maxwell interview.
Show of hands. Did any of you hear from the Justice Department before they released that memo, that 2-page memo earlier this summer?
Oh.
No hands.
Dang.
Were any of you told that Todd Blanche would be speaking with Ghislaine Maxwell prior to that interview over the course of 2 days?
What's his name?
No.
Todd Blanche?
Were any of you told about the prison Were any of you told that Todd Blanche would be speaking with Ghislaine Maxwell prior to that interview over the course of 2 days?
No.
Were any of you told about the prison transfer that Ghislaine Maxwell?
No.
Do any of you feel that the DOJ has communicated with you enough this year?
No.
No.
Have any of you had any communication with the DOJ?
No.
Nobody in this room has heard at all from the Department of Justice?
No.
No.
Is that surprising to you?
No.
No. It should be.
It should, yeah,
Right?
it should be.
You would think.
It's their job. This is the center of this whole entire case. They are the center. Why would you, Ghislaine Maxwell, let's get this right before the narrative changes. And I believe that so strongly that is the intent of her. She's trying to rewrite history.
Yes.
And it was almost like she was given that platform to do that. And that is not acceptable on any terms. She wasn't just this co-conspirator and that was her boyfriend. She was actively participant. She preyed upon these young girls and she used her womanhood to do it.
Yes.
Okay, Virginia said it best. She was vicious. She was a monster.
Wow.
She doesn't deserve any type of platform.
Wow. I ain't never heard this about old girl. And like I said, I know very little. But this is the guy, Todd Blanche, that interviewed her that day. They gave her a voice and a platform to speak on. So Todd Wallace Blanche is an American lawyer and former prosecutor who has served as a 40th United States Deputy Attorney General since 2025. Blanche represented U.S. President Donald Trump during his 2024 criminal trial in New York City. And this guy was born August 6, 1974. He's 51 years old, they said. Okay. And also, he is an American lawyer and former prosecutor who has served on the floor. Okay. All right. So that's the guy that interviewed. I just wanted to know who this was. And he's a longtime attorney of Trump and friend. I'm assuming they're buddies. You know, they got to be.
Or yoga and Pilates.
That's a reference to the prison camp she's now in.
Yeah. I mean, it's absurd. It's absurd what's happening.
Liz, I have to ask you, what did you think when you heard about, let me start with the interview that the Deputy Attorney General, that Todd Blanche conducted over the course of a couple of days with Ghislaine Maxwell. When you heard that was being done, when you saw that transcript, when you heard her voice in that audio, what was that like for you?
I hope that I'm speaking for all of us and saying, we are willing to do whatever we need to find justice. And we're willing to talk about what happened to us so that the public knows what the truth is and not the lies of someone who was convicted of this crime, whose freedom is being held in the balance, and who has their own motives to both protect others and protect herself.
And Lisa, to you, as somebody who attended Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, or at least parts of it.
Yes, I did.
The interview, the release of that audio, the prison transfer. What did you make of all that as it was happening over the course of the summer?
I was just disgusted by it. It just, like she said, she was an abuser. There was one point when Jeffrey had called me to go meet with her after I had met her at a function, at a charity event.
But I want some juice.
I mean, thank God I didn't go. But just the climate in New York at that time, everybody knew that she was working with him or had something.
The climate of New York at that time, the climate changes. What was okay back then is no longer okay. This is a new world order. Like, okay. And then it'll start over again backwards.
That wasn't right with her.
What I'm looking at.
And so much has come out since then that we know, her great involvement. I mean, some even say that she was the one that was the mastermind of a lot of it. I'm not sure about that, but regardless.
Think about the time when Bill Cosby did what the what do they call it? Anyway, Bill Cosby is what they was calling him and stuff. You think them people wasn't complaining back then? You think they didn't know that was happening back then? You know what I'm saying? It's like they have it in their pocket to come out when the world changed, when it's no longer acceptable. I mean, obviously, this is my first time seeing the world change, but this is what it's looking like to me, y'all. This is wild, wild. All of this stuff was known, protected, and allowed, period.
She is the abuser, and why are we so concerned with how she feels about things and her opinions about Trump?
This is where morals and integrity come in at. Don't do something that you know is wrong, because one day it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. Remember, there was a time when people was, hey, they could pick your daughter that they wanted, and they were children. There was a time when that was okay. This is wild.
Anybody else? She's a convicted felon, and so we need to move on from, highlighting her as someone that we should be listening to. So,
wow. Look at this. So they basically saying she was all in, and then pictures are steadily emerging of the parties that was going on. Only thing that's missing is the Diddy oil, the Johnson's oil, whatever you want to call it. That's the only difference. This stuff was organized, planned. It was good. It was cool. This was the in crowd. Thanks for not kicking people out when they get a little crazy. It's best not to censor. Well, yeah, it depends, because you've been saying some crazy stuff. But, yeah, keep it cordial. And you the one with the lowest IQ, Marky Mark. Somebody get rid of Marky. Never mind, I got him. Get up out of here. Rude. Dummies are rude.
What would you say to the Department of Justice as they were pursuing these conversations with her?
They have emails.
Because they ain't got nothing better to say. Don't know what to say, but insults.
They have flight logs. They have a list they've compiled.
Ma'am.
Right? And I feel like if they're not going to release this list to the public that everybody wants to see, we want to know who it is.
Period.
A lot of us survivors know. We've been compiling lists of our own, and we have so many other survivors. Please come forward, and we'll compile our own list and seek justice for, on our own. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen next.
Are there other prominent individuals that you saw when you were with Jeffrey Epstein and others who you think should be followed up on by law enforcement?
Well, let me get this straight. Jeffrey wasn't doing this for himself. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. The parties, the charity events, on the island, everyone that he was involved with, not everybody, because obviously there were people that didn't know about what he was doing. But there were many people that knew what he was doing that were involved in the sex trafficking ring.
Your sister described Ghislaine Maxwell as more evil than Jeffrey Epstein.
Wow. So she was the more evil one. She probably was the more direct and personal one to the victims. She was the one that they was listening to, the madam of it all. Release the files. All you need to get from this is not a vote for anyone. Agreed, Joseph said. So, do y'all believe what these ladies are saying? And somebody said, why all the Trump pics? These pics are emerging from social media in real time. And so, I mean, I haven't seen all of them. I just thought I would share them with y'all as I'm looking at them. So that is what the pictures is all about. There's a lot of different ones in that collage. This is stuff that people are saying. People are concerned about what's happening. And we like to pay attention over here. I don't know about you, but that's what we do over here. So please subscribe to the channel and also hit the thumbs up, y'all. We got 239 people combined, 163 on the other side. Can y'all hit the thumbs up over there on the politics channel and also over here on the crime channel? It's free, y'all. Free 99. Double tap the screen. I bet you I got way more votes than I got thumbs up. Let me see. So we only have 34 votes right now. Well, now they going up. They going up like crazy. Everything is moving fast. But yeah, we gonna see how many votes we got. It's up to 80 so far. 92. Okay. If y'all could hit the thumbs up at that rapid speed that y'all are voting, that would be amazing. And let me see how many subscribers we got. I appreciate y'all tuning in to MTGV Crime Podcast and MTGV Politics.
That was something that she said publicly.
Yes.
And so I have to ask in the
and my name is Miss V.
Context of what is also in the ether at the moment, this idea of a potential pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell. How would you feel if she were to be pardoned, given your sister's comments about Maxwell?
I think it's the biggest slap in the face for us as a family and to these girls and anybody that's been impacted by her. I don't think 20 years is enough.
Yeah. You're referring to her sentence.
Yeah.
I think that people that are able to put that kind of evil out into the world should be either locked away forever. You know, our justice system, I think, is not harsh enough on something of that levity. And I know that if my sister were here with her sisters right now, she wouldn't be happy about it. We're not happy about it. We woke up and like, even when she was moved, I was like, I don't understand how the system works. I also, after the fact, when the transcripts came out, I didn't see anything that she added to the narrative that would get her that move. You know, I don't understand how that kind of evil can be rewarded.
Let me do a show of hands. Who would like to see President Trump definitively rule out a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell? Every single one of you.
Yeah.
Mariah.
But why would he do that?
Are you frustrated he hasn't done so yet?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just toying with the idea is an insult.
Well, it looked like she gonna get everything she looking for. Let me know what y'all think. Will Ghislaine Maxwell be pardoned? Put a 1 in the chat. Do y'all think she will? He said he was willing to pardon Diddy, and he also, when they asked about her, he has said that nobody had come to him about pardoning her. And then him said, as a Republican, I don't support Trump, but he was 100% the better option over Kamala. Do y'all believe that? He said the infrastructure would have been falling apart by now. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. I know I already asked y'all to put a 1. So I see a couple 1s for the pardon. Yeah, put a yes in the chat or no if you believe that Kamala would have been the worst choice. I mean, a lot of people that voted for him is in the streets right now. So as a matter of fact, because we don't have all day, I'm gonna let them answer the question, but I'm gonna go on to something else because I want to go and see what they're doing with the protests. But you see the channel that we are tuning in on every video that I play under fair use, and also go check it out in completion.
What would you say to the president if he could hear you right now about this, about the potential pardon, about the case, about all of this that's in the ether right now?
Would ask why he's putting so much attention on convicted criminals and why he seems to value them more than us.
Because those are his.
Does anybody else have thoughts on that? Lisa, Jenna?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I would say it's so big right now because this administration ran their campaign on this. These were promises that they had made.
And that is the betrayal, that they ran a campaign on it. That is huge. A lot of people feel betrayed and angry because of it.
And if you're in that level, in that capacity, it's your diligence, it's your duty to do what your constituents, the American public is asking you for.
But do it make sense for him to do it if he in the files? No, it does not. If he's in the files, does it make sense to release them? I mean, would have been the worst possible thing, period. Mullen said Kamala would have. Okay, let's go to the protest because we can't be here all day. Let's see. Dang, I hope I put it in here. We can't even get to the other right here. We'll see what they saying.
Liz Stein. 4 weeks ago, our team at World Without Exploitation sat down with Liz, and truthfully, she was a little frustrated. She was feeling that everybody was talking about survivors, but nobody was truly listening to survivors. And we knew that needed to change. So after listening to Liz, we knew we needed to create a space and send a clear message. It is time to listen to the voices of survivors. So here we are. What Liz reminds us is that courage is contagious. You will not see one woman walk up here alone. She will walk up in solidarity with her survivor sisters. And that is deliberate because this movement is all about solidarity. When one person steps forward, we all have the courage to step forward. All right, let's do it. Liz, come on up here. Liz is joined this morning with 4 of her sisters, 4 women in our World We Survivor Training Fellowship. Please welcome Gigi, LJ, Jessica, and Terry. There has never been a more urgent moment. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gabrielle Prieto, and it is an honor to welcome you here today. To every survivor present and to every ally standing with us, your courage, your solidarity, and your presence are powerful. We also thank our partners, World Weed and the Coalition.
So I do want to say this because of what somebody had just said. What did they say? The files can't be released or something like that. So the House Oversight Committee releases thousands of Epstein documents, and this is coming from Fox News, and this is from yesterday. And it says the House Oversight Committee released a tranche of thousands of documents related to the Epstein case on Tuesday night. So they have been released as of yesterday, as of last night, some of them. And the surprise file dump came ahead of an expected House-wide vote to formalize the committee's Epstein inquiry on Wednesday afternoon. And then it says that vote, while largely symbolic, would also direct the House Oversight Committee to release the Epstein files by the Department of Justice, sent by the Department of Justice. So nearly 34,000 pages are being released. That include the DOJ interview with Ghislaine Maxwell and videos that appear to show the inside of Epstein's house, Palm Beach home. And then it says, let's see, Epstein's brother Mark Epstein was skeptical about Tuesday's release. There's no news there. I'd rather see the tape in the morning when they took his body off the tier, he told Fox News Digital. So that will show who was there, maybe who was running the show, etc. That might be news. So his brother ain't feeling whatever it is that they released. and that's good to know what he's feeling about it. So it says the drop included law enforcement videos that showed taped interviews with survivors conducted during the 2005 2006 Palm Beach investigation involving Epstein, as well as police body cams and search footage, and the disgraced financials Palm Beach, Florida home, and interview transcripts with Maxwell. So I mean, I feel the brother. He like, let's get straight to it. Let's get straight to who unalived my brother, who was supposed to be there standing guard, who all was at the prison, how this person was able to get in that area and all that. So I definitely feel what the brother is saying. What do y'all think? P. Diddy party with P. Daddy and Mar-a-Lago. There is more than just grand jury information. What was released was a nothing burger. Okay. That's what the brother is basically saying. Like, okay, y'all going around the block, around the corner. We want to get to the real information. So that means that the person, they know who did this, man. They said there's no way this man could have did it. The angle of his neck and all that was, yeah, it would have been forward and it wasn't. Wait, it would have been, yeah, the way that they said he did it, it would have been different. So it wasn't even laid out. I mean, he wasn't even in the right position when they found him for doing it himself. The way that it was pulled back showed that somebody did it. So there was also video from the area outside of Epstein's jail cell in a Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City. There was also video from the area, right? This is what he's talking about. So one folder contained an email chain from the DOJ officials that included a timeline of Epstein's final hours. That's where we want to get to. Get straight to it. But it don't sound like that is what they want to do. So then it says it was written 24 hours after Epstein was found unalived. Wow. It says one folder contained an email chain from the DOJ officials that included a timeline of Epstein's final hours. It was written 24 hours after Epstein was found dead in his federal jail cell in Brooklyn while awaiting trial on the trafficking charges. So Hugh/Ray, can you verify that the information below is accurate? Is based in a large part of the timeline you sent. So it's based in large part of the timeline you sent, wrote one official whose email address was redacted. Is there any reason why this information shouldn't be released to the public? So it says here, details from the timeline have already been widely reported. Epstein was placed on the Sui watch in jail on July 23rd, 2019. And he allegedly received daily psych evaluations, but and also people were supposed to be checking in on him and they wasn't. On July 29th, authorities removed him from the Sui watch, placed him in a special housing unit where he was supposed to be placed with a cellmate for safety. That's crazy. A cellmate for safety? Wouldn't he be safer alone? So his cellmate left for court on August 9th, and the judge let him go home. So Epstein was alone in his cell. His last contact with guards came around midnight on August 10th. Although guards were supposed to conduct checks every 30 minutes, no one saw Epstein until around 6:30 a.m. When staff serving breakfast found him unresponsive in his cell, he was pronounced dead, and authorities said he did it to himself. Just that simple. But notice how everything worked out. They put him with a cellmate. The cellmate was going home. Like, they knew this person wasn't going to be there and he would be left alone. I also remember his brother saying that his door was left unlocked. So anybody could go in there and do whatever they did. And so the House Oversight Committee Chairman James subpoenaed the DOJ in early August for all documents pertaining to its investigation of Epstein and Maxwell. The subpoena was directed by bipartisan vote during an unrelated House Oversight Committee hearing late in July. This is the most thorough investigation into the Epstein and Maxwell to date, and they are getting results. So Comer said during the House Rules Committee meeting on Tuesday evening. So it sounds like it's moving like it ain't never moved before, but so much other stuff is moving too. And I hope, how important is this that it don't come out? Because, I mean, shoot, could we be in a war? That'll surely get our mind all the way off of it. Like, you ain't gonna be thinking about this if that's happening. But we hope that we don't go there. We hope we do not get there. Okay. Y'all please smack the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We have already deposed Attorney General Bill, and it says the DOJ provided nearly 34,000 pages of documents and will produce more, which is being made public as we speak. So, all right. So they working on it. Do y'all believe that it's going to come out? So Representative Robert Garcia, D. California, the top Democrat on the committee, claimed that some 97% of those documents were already public. They said they were already public. What are we doing here? It said, look, wait, who's this? It says Summer Lee said Democrats could continue to push the unredacted files involving Epstein. Democrats would continue to push for unredacted. Yeah, it should definitely be unredacted. We want to see everything. We recognize that Trump, DOJ, has every incentive to not comply, Lee told Fox. That is, I imagine, a very small start, but we await the rest. So I guess everyone just have to be grateful for what you do have. They said we're going to go beyond it. We're already getting the documents from the administration, Comer said. I don't think the discharge petition is necessary at all. So in addition, the deposing bar and subpoena to the DOJ Comer panel was also sent a subpoena to former Attorney General Loretta Lynch, ex-FBI Director James Comey, former President Bill Clinton, and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. So what do y'all think about that? Because the government sold the residents of Chicago out, unaliving jobs and creating. Being grateful of what you have is an amazing way to live. No, Trump on 10,000 pages, boo-hoo. He didn't read. We all know leftists just repeat what they hear on the internet. I don't know. Let's see what the victims are saying.
Uniting this moment of hope and determination. As we gather on the Capitol Hill today, because survivors of Epstein, Maxwell, and countless others have said, we want to be seen, we want to be heard, and we want to be safe. This is not about politics. This is about survivor, lead, a sister in this movement, and a voice of resilience. She stands not only for herself, but for the countless others who have been silenced. Please join me in welcoming Liz Stein to the podium. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, wow. Welcome. Looking out into this crowd, it's so hard to believe that this is all happening. It was born out of frustration, sitting around a kitchen table, and look at us here today. I'm really blown away with all of this support. There is definitely power in numbers. Today, we're here to celebrate the great strength of my survivor sisters who are here in Washington, and to all of you who came out today to stand with survivors. My name is Liz Stein. I am a speaker, writer, educator, and activist in the anti-trafficking movement. I am a World Without Exploitation Stand Fellow, and I am also a survivor of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. I met Ghislaine when I was a senior in college. I was just 21 years old. Maxwell introduced me to Jeffrey Epstein later on that day. That evening was the sliding glass doors moment that changed the trajectory of my entire life. I was once bright, fun, outgoing, and kind. I loved people, and people genuinely enjoyed being around me. But after meeting Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, it felt like someone shut off the lights to my soul. Instead of pursuing my dream of going to law school after graduation, overcoming the terror and the trauma that was inflicted on me by these sex traffickers, overcoming that became my decades-long full-time career. As sisters, as survivors, we're initiated into a sisterhood. We're in a sorority that none of us asked to join, but we all stand here today stronger together because our collective voice is powerful. We stand together also to honor the beautiful souls who lost their lives in the pursuit of getting justice for Maxwell and Epstein's crimes. This is not a partisan issue. This is a crime, the crime of sex trafficking, and the criminals must be held accountable. Disbelieving survivors creates a culture of silence. There is strength in numbers, and our courage is contagious. I want to humanize sex trafficking survivors for you all, just for one moment. We are not others. We are your sisters, your friends, your colleagues. We are in your community. Think about the women that you love, and then think about them being the victim of sexual assault. It's uncomfortable and it's hard to think about. Could you stand for their abuse? I hope not. This is a crime that, by our Justice Department's own admission, has 1,000 victims. 1,000 victims. Do you know 1,000 people? Think of the enormity of that. Could you be okay with a crime happening in your community to 1,000 girls and young women and not holding the perpetrators accountable? I think not. The government's mishandling of this case has silenced our truth from the start. Nevertheless, beginning with Maria Farmer in 1996, the survivors of this crime have been relentless in speaking out and seeking justice, oftentimes at great risk to our own safety and well-being.
Okay, so y'all see, the world is at a civil unrest. I do recommend y'all go check this out. We don't have all day over here, but I definitely wanted to go over some of that stuff, let y'all know what some of the people are saying, how the world is feeling, and it's trending pretty much everywhere. And so let me see what y'all got to say. Hopefully y'all hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, please do it right now. Biden had the case 4 years ago. She is talking about them. Well, we see who has the power right now to do this. Has been going on for a very long time. But who's holding the files back right now is what the issue is. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let me see how many votes we got minus the thumbs up over here. But I appreciate y'all tuning in, but please smack that thumbs up right now if you didn't get a chance to. We the votes is going up. It's over 100 votes that y'all said y'all already hit the thumbs up, but I'm not so sure about that. So can y'all please double tap the screen, the thumbs up before we get up out of here, because I am not looking at the proper number of thumbs up. As a matter of fact, I ain't even on here looking at all. But this was a lot. It's a lot going on. We didn't even get to the fact we didn't even get to Chicago. So all of that is going on. So the information that we watched yesterday, the press conference that president announced about the rocket station or whatever in Huntsville, he also said something about J.B. Pritzker, and he responded back. So it really feel like a reality show that we are watching. Is moving in lightning speed. Boy, y'all are wild. You can't release with children's names and other innocents, nor can you their case. Yeah, they can redact it. They can release it and redact that kind of information. No problem. That is no reason not to release it. I mean, but I think this information was known. Shout out to BFF. Y'all, please like and subscribe to Miss V. Yes, as a matter of fact, y'all, please leave a comment on this live stream after I end this, and we can have a conversation in the chat, because it's hard for me to pay attention to every single comment as it's going by. I got 2 channels streaming, and it looked like the majority of the people is on the LLC channel right now. So y'all smack the thumbs up over there, and we're gonna go ahead and end it. Release the grand jury testimonies. Yes, we want all of that. I would love to hear the real proof. Yeah, where is the proof? Oh, I'm sure it's there. I remember them saying that the president was told that his name was in the files. I want to say it was in May or something. And it was like they were saying different things though. But yeah, shout out to everybody on the Politics, aka LLC channel, and shout out to everybody on the crime. Y'all, please check out my channel. We talk about politics and crime over here, and this is one of the cases that we've been covering. A little boy Emmanuel that has been missing, so we've been following that case. So y'all check us out there, and also we own this. We pay attention. Politics and crime. It's too much going on in the world not to pay attention. If you live in, you're here, right? Yeah, we want to know. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please be sure to smack that thumbs up on the way out. Set all notifications so you know next time I go live. And we out of here.
What in the fuckity fuck kind of shit is this?
Wow. And everybody that need to go down should.
Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Please subscribe and press that notification bell and thumbs up.
Thank you for sharing me. Thank you for sharing me. Thank you for sharing me. For sharing me. For sharing me. For sharing me. Thank you for sharing me.
All right. Peace and love, y'all. We out. Y'all have a great rest of the day.